Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Fata Morgana. Feels a bit weird to finally be commentating my Let's Plays again, but I finally can, so yeah, I'm very excited to do so. We have seen so much in the last episode. We've basically seen the progression of Michelle and Gazelle's relationship, and then we've obviously seen the decline as Michelle dies, and now we are seeing Gazelle's really unusual journey that she is going through, which she has been fully tempted by Morgana to actually pursue the journey. And yeah, it's so interesting learning more about Morgana, and also just learning more in general about the Maid's perspective of the incidents. And what I'm going to be really interested in is, firstly, the white-haired girl, what she's going to be genuinely like. And I also really want to know just what happens in comparison to the stories we were told. Oh my god, and it would be nice to see someone else's thoughts on, I don't know, for example, Nelly. Yeah, feels weird to be reading on a really big screen as well, because I've been reading on my laptop screen and without being able to hear fans as well. That's very nice. I don't like my laptop much, to be honest. Okay, anyway, we're totally being taken back to chapter 1. I don't think she is new. Why does he think she's new? Interesting. He probably would be. Do you know, Hayden was surprisingly nice. I thought he was going to be an absolute arsehole at first, but rather he was just somebody who, if you conform to his very high standards, sure, you'll be fine. If you don't, then fuck you, basically. Yeah, fair enough, they look amazing. Oh yeah, Rhodes and Rose, they do actually sound quite similar. He gets totally interrupted. That's hilarious. God, so they've just moved in. Wow. Oh my god, I really do wonder which room is going to... I don't know, just what Gazelle is going to think about rooms in a mansion that she has had so much connection with, just belonging to somebody else. I don't know, just... It must be so weird seeing all of these rooms be totally repurposed. What? So what does it mean by more? Like, just want to get an exact picture. Oh, so it's just a mouth. Okay. So a literary word for the mouth of a fierce animal, or something that absorbs everything near it. Okay. That's so weird. I just really wonder why Morgana is doing this. Seriously. And I wonder what's going to change as we progress. Yeah, I know, that's the weirdest thing. Yeah, fair enough, yeah. Oh my god, it must be so awful just knowing that these kids probably have some sort of inevitable tragedy, which we have seen happen to them. Yeah. Exactly, yeah, it's so weird that everybody who goes to the mansion feels like they have misfortune waiting for them. Well, I mean, I don't blame her in a way, because Morgana is a very, very powerful foe, and let's be honest here. I mean, Morgana is somebody who has done enough to make it so that Gazelle has been able to live forever, basically. She can literally control whether she lives or dies. I mean, do you really want to be messing with somebody like that? I wouldn't. Even if it meant that, obviously, you have to accept things that, let's be honest, here are very, very cruel. And obviously Michelle as well. He exists. Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. And I just think the more this happens, the more difficult it is going to be for Gazelle. I'm very excited for Chapter 2's explanation, by the way. Can I just mention that? Yeah, seriously, yeah. It doesn't even matter how much pain you're going to go through. Oh god. So is this going to be the time they murder, basically? Hang on a second, what? You're telling me Mel actually did something? So now you're probably going to realise that this person you have to serve is really bad. So it's just going to make serving him more awkward because of the fact that you know that he's done something really bad, maybe. What? Yeah, gosh, she doesn't even have the power to resist. Morgana just sounds like somebody with so much power who is a complete psychopath. Why would you ever want to put somebody through this? Unless you are very mentally unstable. True. Very, very true. Yeah. Yeah, reasonable. Yeah. What am I looking at? What the fuck? What is this? Dude, these are all of the CGs, but is this kind of like a representation of just how little her memory can hold of Michelle, how fragmented her memory is? Oh my god, I know, that must have been so weird. You can just properly see Morgana messing with her. Yeah. I know. Michelle, yeah. That's interesting. Yeah. Yeah, of course. Yeah, so the white-haired girl might have actually existed. Yeah, it must be very hard not to be influenced by her, especially when everything is so difficult already. Yeah, I like that, the cocoon advice. It's still there. Yeah. God, it must be so cruel, this. I mean, it really is just... If I'm going to be honest, I genuinely think that it's even surprising that the maid remembers this much. I think it's actually quite impressive. Yeah, but what's interesting about this is with Michelle, the maid doesn't really have much of a reason to continue this journey because, let's be honest, she's nearly forgotten Michelle. And I suppose, even though she's completely forgotten who he is, and obviously she still feels the love, sure, that kind of gives her a reason to do all of this, but at the same time, she's having love for somebody that she has totally forgotten everything about just because of how much time has passed. And just the fact that she doesn't doubt it is amazing. But what I'm trying to say is, sure, it did objectively happen, but because of the fact that she has so little confidence of it happening in her head, she could possibly think, oh, did this really happen? So, I mean, it's obvious to us that it has happened, but sometimes it might not be obvious to Gazelle. Well, sometimes the actual reason for doing all of this, and for soldiering through, might not. It just might not be enough, really. Yeah, my god, this is going to be interesting. And you can... I wonder what Morgana will think of this, actually. Yeah. I know, it's just basically Michelle but a girl. And also not really, really beefy and strong. Wait, no, actually, Michelle is good. Actually. No, to be honest, I don't actually know if Michelle is good at combat because Gazelle literally beat him in an arm wrestle. I think his sword is probably really good for show though, and obviously driving everybody away. And I think, like, in the end of chapter 2, the village rebelled on him. But I don't know how that would tie with Morgana. And her saying the curse is inevitable to befall him, really. Oh my god, I know. Oh my god, it's a total mindfuck. It really is, because it's so similar that... Sorry, it's so reasonable that she'd think this. Yeah, god. Yeah, ironic. Oh my god, and this is the worst thing, because Gazelle is going to see the person that looks like the person that she has been waiting for fall for another man as well. Oh my god. I just really wonder if Morgana... No, I don't know. I just really wonder the coincidence element of this. It really is unusual. Yeah, fair enough. It is said. I just think it's so funny how neutral she has to be. But she has to be. Because you would never know what Morgana could do if she discovers that you've been leaking her identity. Yeah. Not even she knows. God, what happened to Morgana? That's the question. Yeah, she's just thinking anything and concluding it with, this is the person that I've been waiting for so long. What? You're being serious. That's really not what I was expecting. But it does kind of make sense though, because Michelle can literally have the same sounding name in a female equivalent. I don't know if it's... Wait, I've actually got to search. Does anybody... Yeah, Michelle can be male and female. Oh my god. Oh god. God, she's really letting her emotions show. That's the worst. I really think that Michelle should... Oh my god, it just feels so weird referring to somebody called Michelle who is not the one we know. She's really letting herself go. Oh my god. Yeah, but I mean, let's be honest, look at how much she has had to go through. Of course she would. I don't blame her whatsoever. No! That's the funny thing. This is not your lover. God, what an insult. Yeah. That must be so hard for her. Exactly, yeah. 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 I do wonder what she would say here. Yeah, God. Yeah. You can just properly... I bet you Morgana is having a... Well, she is having a real fit of laughter just in the back. I bet you she's really entertained. I think it's funny how, I mean, obviously it's reasonable as to why, but the professionalism, oh my God. There is a severe lack of it. She's being so unrealistic, my God. She doesn't even care about anything apart from just learning more about this weird situation that she's been in. Yeah, exactly, yeah. This isn't even the person that you were looking for. That's the ridiculous thing. They have just met. Oh, God. You are clearly more than a simple maid. Oh my God, so are we going to see Morgana's reaction? Yeah. I know, yeah. It's interesting because you remember so little about your love, but you obviously remember the feelings, you remember the kindness, and obviously you remember just what you have done to make it so that it can be reunited. But it's interesting in the sense that, hang on. Michelle is kind of remembered as nothing more than his attributes and the types of, well, the looks he has. And I think it's just so ironic that Morgana can't even remember that Michelle is a man as well. But it's just really quite interesting because somebody has exactly the same attributes, so it's easy to make that mistake. But it totally makes sense considering just how far time has progressed. But God, she is becoming so desperate and she is just doing anything she can. Yeah. Well, she can't deny what she has never experienced. She is quite literally being mistaken for another person. And the worst thing is, Gazelle is not listening. She is just in... I mean, who can blame her? Let's be honest here. But she is in such a state of panic that she would not be able to listen. I know, that's the awful thing. Yeah. It just really shows how much she's forgotten. Yeah, totally reasonable. She is hopeless now. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. What is she going to say? How much time do I have time to see this? I've got 12 minutes. Bit of a wrong spelling there. Yeah. I wonder if Morgana's going to give her a reality check, or if she's not, just because it's more fun for her to not do so. She's just jumping to conclusions. She was not scared at all. She was just confused. If anything, she conducted herself very professionally. True. Yeah, I know, that realisation. You still have me. Oh my God, she'd really say that. Yeah, me, who probably knows that this Michelle is going to come to the mansion and yet doesn't tell Gazelle whatsoever and just makes her discover it the hard way and obviously makes her feel very upset as a result. Oh my God, the amount of pain she must be feeling is unbelievable. Yeah, I think saying that you have me after all of that, yeah, I would not want to have somebody like that, I don't think. True. Oh my God, this is such a mind fuck. She will not remember. They are totally different people. It would be impossible for her to remember. She is being totally fucked with. To be fair, that is actually reasonable. He could have fended for himself, but could he have done so happily? Could he have fended for himself happily? That is a good question, if you ask me. God. Oh my god, this must be so weird to see. Oh god. The maid never really intervenes, so it must just be her looking from the shadows. God, really quite beautiful pictures as well. Yeah, it's going to be quite interesting to see what she thinks of the tragedy as well. And it is interesting that even though the white-haired girl goes running away, she doesn't really go after her. I feel like she's probably accepted it at that point. And also, let's be honest. And she comforts Mel as well. It will be interesting to think about, well, just reinterpret it. I hope we get to see that scene again from her perspective. Yeah. I feel like for them to be smiling, Gazelle's definitely forgotten about everything. Well, not forgotten, she can never forget, but yeah, this scene, yeah. Yeah, I do too. Yeah, I don't blame her whatsoever. I just really don't understand how she was able to... Well, I mean, she's clearly been able to somehow regain her composure, as we could see when Yukimasa was taught how to speak the language. Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. You always do these things to put up fronts, you don't do it genuinely. Yeah. Alright. It's interesting that Morgana has actually implied that even though Mel is really young, he's done something bad. Fair enough. So, mental illness killed her, basically. Yeah, totally reasonable, I mean. Look at how psychotic Nelly is. Yeah. That is just an indication that you cannot return home. I see that. All because of Nelly. Well, because of Morgana, but if you don't know about Morgana, because of Nelly. I mean, she didn't want to do the arranged marriage, then she murders. Not very good for the reputation, having the murderer in a family. God. Oh my god, we're probably going to see it like a massive progression in time. 1603, we're going to go to like... Yeah. Yeah, this is probably where Yukimasa is. I'm really excited for her perspective on Yukimasa. God. Yeah, and to think about the fact that she has been so broken. That sent the second visitor. She is so broken, and yet at the same time she has to live. She has no choice whatsoever in the matter. Like Morgana says, it is a form of torture that is significantly worse than death. It feels weird just to scroll up and see everything I've read this session. But where was it Morgana talking about... Oh god, Morgana is so unpleasant. So is this the scene with... Yeah, where's the scene with Morgana? Oh, I see. Dearest devoted gazelle. Yeah. Yeah, this. Yeah, but that's interesting. I do wonder what he did. I am doing nothing wrong. Yeah, sure thing. That's how you can tell somebody properly bad. They don't feel as if they're doing wrong, even though they are doing something that is objectively very, very unacceptable. Yeah. But I wonder why Morgana is making it so that Gazelle should... Well, making it so that Gazelle needs to forget Michelle. I do wonder... Like, I don't mean Michelle, the white-haired girl, I mean the other one. The one that's... Well, the one that's more interesting. I don't know, I like the white-haired girl. I think she's a good character in all of them, but I think Michelle I prefer more. Anyway, I have to go now, which kind of sucks, but... Yep, I will return at the end of the day. Right, so what I kind of wanted to do before I get on to the Maid's retelling of Chapter 2 within her own perspective and like the actual truth to live it, I wanted to look at Chapter 1 again. This is Chapter 1, not Chapter 6. As you can probably tell here. There are a few scenes that I'd be very interested in reinterpreting. Now, I firstly made the mistake, I think, in my previous part of the video that, I said Nelly was a murderer. I didn't mean to say that. I meant to say that Nelly is somebody who has the mental illness that could make it so that she could easily kill. And, yeah, she's just seriously mentally ill and spoiled as well, rather than a murderer. Right. This is the conversation I wanted to revisit and see how different it is. Right. Yeah, so let's go here. Oh, wow. So this is even here. Oh my god, that's ironic. Oh my god, that's so interesting. Yeah. Maid's totally lying. Yeah, seriously. Just try touch her hand. Yeah. There are things that are cold in this world, and then there is the Maid's hand. Coldest thing in the universe. Oh my god. I can't believe they say that. What a genius little trick. Oh my god. Only people who are rereading this will realize. You know what? I'm screenshotting this and I'm talking about it. Holy shit. That's so interesting. That's Nelly who says that. And isn't it ironic that we don't see that? So basically, it's kind of like, I don't know, a biased news reporter. He only shows us the bits that he wants us to see, not the dirty secrets. So now I want to see the Rose conversation. I don't know how long it's going to take. By the way, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I've got a new webcam. And it is so cool because I can control it without having to move it. I can literally control how my webcam is positioned, and I can make it move left and right. I can make the literal hardware move left and right with an app. It's fucking insane. It's the Insta360 Link 2. And I've used black tape to cover the really distracting LED. If I couldn't cover the LED, I would have sent it back, 100%. I cannot use webcams with bright LEDs. I don't know how people do. Anyway, being a bit of a nerd here. But this is the conversation I wanted to look at again. Because I thought we were going to get something on this, but no. This was such a cool scene because it really indicated the supernatural. I thought that said Germany. Oh my god. So this is Mel getting really quite... What the fuck? Wait, what? Okay, let's actually look at this dream again. What the fuck? Oh, this is getting weird. Yeah. It's not love sickness. Your sister is a psychopath. But I don't get it. That could be like a pronoun that's censored. Doesn't even matter, but still, that's really interesting because this is what Michelle would receive. The fuck? That could be Michelle. Can't be Gazelle, because Gazelle's 7 characters. I don't know, it doesn't really matter. It's a man's voice as well, but yeah, that's really weird. This is actually a really unusual dream. That's really interesting. So, these people have killed somebody and they sealed off the tower because of it. But, who could it have been that they have killed? And why would Mel have a bad dream like this as well? I mean, I just really do wonder if this is a bad dream or if it's trying to tell us something more. I don't know. I'll come back to that. Anyway, let's get to what we were actually... Oh my god, yeah, the father's story. Unusual. I do wonder what that dream was as well. interesting. An interesting hint about the maid's character that now makes sense. Because you look like Michelle. And you literally have the same name. So would Michelle, ironically. Okay, just out of interest, I researched Gamache. Doesn't look like something that is an actual concept, which is a bit of a shame. Well, such an unusual scene, that, and it was a very cool scene. But I always think it's white and red are symbolism related concepts here, but nothing really that much here that's changed. But it's really interesting that this theme of the white-haired girl being accused of being a witch is just kind of ironic, because we had Michelle, who we thought, I mean, you'd use human logic to say that all of this being cursed was just by his looks and it was just societal stigma. But then you realise that he is actually cursed when you look at his connections with Morgana, possibly. But that's the problem, you don't fully know. And it is unusual, the rose changing colour. And you really do wonder whether that actually happened, or if that was just the maid. Right. Oh, yeah. Okay. I wanted to also just see if there was anything different about the last scene with Mel. Anything we can maybe get? I'm just curious how the maid treats this, because I swear she was talking with the perspective of somebody who has experienced love. God, this was so fucking cool. Like, seriously. You really discover. No, this is not the white-haired girl you were talking to. It is your sister. Yeah. Now we have the arranged marriage. Unpleasantness. Yeah. This was so fun. When I saw this, I realised that this visual novel was going to be good. God. It's the white-haired girl. What I find very interesting about all of this is that, oh my god. What a terrifying little photo. Dearest Mel, I'm going to fucking kill you. Isn't there like a really nightmarish CG somewhere here? I swear it only lasts for like a second, but yeah. God. Yeah. I love the art. Yeah. Right, here's the scene I wanted to look at again. Oh no, it isn't. Yeah, this is the scene. Oh, I got the menu thing. Right. You know what, we'll just return that to default afterwards. Right, the Maid and Mel. Mel and Gazelle. Yeah. She left. That's interesting that the Maid says that. But I suppose it's kind of similar to her in a way. She's kind. Michelle and her have a relationship as a result. And it's horrible to say that if it wasn't for her kindness, then none of this would be going on. Let's be honest here. None of this eternal torture. Yeah, same for the Maid, actually. They're quite similar, which is surprising. That's interesting. Yep, same for Gazelle. Pretend I know. Yeah. Yeah, so you can't run away. You have to follow the path, kind of like Gazelle in a way, because she follows the path of wanting to be reunited with Michelle. She doesn't have a choice. Yeah, so I suppose she kind of... Yeah, so if you decide to run from... What are you running from? Yeah, so the path you tread when you decide to run away from pain, if you make the wrong choice in those moments, you will be in ruin. But that does kind of make sense here, because let's be honest, it's just humiliation. I mean, this person is called Michelle, with a different spelling obviously, but she doesn't know that. But yeah, she's called Michelle. She doesn't fall for her, she falls for somebody else. She's a totally different person. And in the end as well, I suppose, there's decline. I mean, it must be awful for the Maid, it really must be. And like she's saying very wisely, if you are provoked like this and you make a bad decision, then who's to say that everything's going to be alright in the end? Because unfortunately the world for the Maid is not kind, because there's nobody there for her. It's just herself. And if anything, she's being bullied by the one person that she's known for the longest, i.e. Morgana. Right, anyway, let's look, this is actually the one that I'm the most excited for. She is going to become Hayden, quite literally. Yeah. I don't blame him whatsoever. Yeah, and she's very apathetic as well. So how's Yuki Masa going to change her? Oh, I want to. He never slaughtered the merchant, though. He can't have. Oh, wait, hang on a second. No, he could have. I always thought... Jesus Christ. Yeah. Somebody's a bit of a psychopath. Oh my god. Oh my god. I've just got to get a screenshot of this. Yeah, anyway, yeah, but no, I always thought, oh god, this webcam. No, I so I suppose when it says the merchant, it's referring to any merchant. But it kind of used Yukimasa's sprite so that we were convinced that Bestia had killed him. Could it be referring to any merchant, or could it kind of be... I don't know, I need more information. Yeah. Basically somebody who, after this, has become totally hopeless. Must have been horrible for her. Yeah. I don't blame her. I like that we see his sprite. Oh my god, it feels like we're really being taken back. Even though this guy's a human, but okay. And this is the thing, you have to do this. Otherwise, Morgana's not going to be happy, is she? Yep. Oh god, I know. Jesus Christ. Jesus! Oh my god, she just doesn't even... Will she? What actually happened? No, Gazelle has got to be seriously careful, because she's living forever. If she gets dismembered, will she have to live despite being dismembered? Yeah, that's not something to think about. True. Well, a master can do that if they're sick like he is. Yeah, that was your worst mistake. And that's the thing. That's why craving for human interaction sometimes can be very dangerous, because, for example, here, this is what it's led to. Yeah. God, that must be sick. Yeah, totally fair. Yes, why? Yeah, isn't it interesting? You kind of... She still remembered this advice nearly 100 years later, can I just mention? But, yeah, you build a shell And then you have that shell. You do all of these actions as the Maid. The Maid will never falter, so that means Gazelle will always be someone who is existing. Yeah. No matter how much the Maid gets destroyed, Gazelle will always remain. And the core of her personality will always remain because she emphasizes the desire to protect that, I suppose. But I think it's a bit idealistic thinking that literally cutting up corpses after never having seen a dead body before is going to... You do all of that and then you're still going to be able to preserve the you hidden inside the cocoon. Yeah, fair enough. Must be absolutely disgusting. And that thought as well, I don't know how. Yeah. Oh my god. True. Yeah. Because you will very rarely find somebody who is as much of a... Well, I don't know, could you call them... What is actually like the definite... Hang on. Yeah, so I suppose you could call him a schizo. Yeah, I think you could call him a schizo easily, but yeah. I'm not going to pretend to know psychology, but like, if I ever had to describe a psychopath, I instantly go to Yukimasa. But when I think about a psychopath, which one is more psychotic? This Yukimasa or the one before? And I do wonder if you could make a genuine argument for the one before possibly being more psychopathic. Because the one before just did all of the cruelty because he was cruel and he was a horrible person. But this one, this Yukimasa, after he's lost his memory, he's doing all of the cruel acts because of the fact that... Not because he's a psychopath, but because he's been persecuted severely just for who he is. And because he's foreign to the nation. Nation? Village. Why did I say nation? Jesus Christ. Are we going to get a new CG? No, it doesn't look like it. Okay then. Yeah. There is somebody that will your power will never be able to kill. Good. Oh yeah, there's just one thing I want to see. What's time? Fuck. Oh yeah, I need to restore defaults. Forgot to do that. Okay. I just wanted to check. What does blah 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 blah? Can I just want to check the. Oh, there's no. So it's plant and yeah, so it's just plants rather than anything that has much significance to Gazelle and Michelle. Like for example, here it's the plant that you always saw with Michelle's point of view, and then here is Gazelle's perspective. I suppose it kind of makes sense in door 6 because it's them reflecting on her story together. The Maid's story rather than Gazelle's, I meant. Very, very ugly, seriously. I mean, Jesus Christ. You can tell a proper psychopath when you see this. He's just totally asserting dominance. And I mean, I think what's also quite significant is just how he defies society. Like, normally, it's really quite horrible to hurt women. And then he just does it fully defenselessly without a care in the world for the fact that she is female. Now I do wonder, I mean, out of every part that you could skewer, you do this one? Wait, no, actually no, I can't use that to imply anything. When the white-haired girl was there was no like sexual arousal whatsoever. Even when she undressed. Which is interesting, actually. I'm going to be interested to see what the maid thinks of that. But she probably doesn't remember it when she did it to Michelle. I do wonder... No, she probably does. Oh, you laugh. Well, you can't. That's the thing. You can't dismember the maid. But she won't, though. Yeah. Oh my god. So even the maid is... Well, no. I suppose it's the maid. The fact that the maid was absolutely terrified of. Well, no, she wasn't really terrified, but she was totally disgusted and yeah, she was really trying to have the mature outlook of this is not going to affect me. This is going to affect the person of the cocoon, not the person in the cocoon. Sorry, outside of the cocoon, it's going to affect. But yeah. Yeah, but she almost wanted to cry. She wasn't scared now, but she probably would have been traumatized if this abuse had gone on. Yeah. It's just somebody who seems so threatening is now somebody who is the opposite, really, because he can't deal any damage to you. And that anti-climax is probably what she's laughing about. Really? Fair enough. Yeah, and isn't it interesting? You just see the maid really dehumanize herself, thinking that she can do anything just to restore her personality. She's going to say, yes, I bet you anything. Or she's not going to say anything. Who is the woman's voice? Or is it Pauline's voice? What is she saying, though? Yeah, which one is she? You. Yeah, that's her. Oh my god, that's so brutal. Agreed. Fair. Of course. Oh, isn't it interesting? I just find it very interesting that Yukimasa being very, very awful has made it so that the maid has really lost sight of what she is. Because you're called by all of these titles, but in reality you were just an innocent young girl who was really subject to violent conditions, like what Antonin did and what Amidi did as well, little bastard. This is horrible. I mean, to think about the fact that she has all of her memories of her past self and just seeing how you only remember yourself through how it is described by another person. You don't even remember it with your own description. But to be honest, it does kind of make sense. I mean, like for example, I can't ever... Like, the only reason I know stuff about my past is because I'm told about it sometimes with people that have recollections of it. I don't have any recollections of that. But the only reason you have an idea of who you were in the past is because other people tell you about them, about yourself, and then you form an impression based on that. Or at least that's what I found. And it's kind of like that. But the only thing is, it's obviously awful because if she loses sight of herself, then, well, she's living forever, and it's the worst thing. And also, she'll lose what she's done this for as well. Yeah, it'd be interesting if Morgana was somebody who had a part to play in Yukimasa's madness. Yeah, and it would have been so much easier. And to be honest, no Morgana, no Michelle. Just the maid. Nothing. Totally. Yeah, and she can never ever hold herself clear. Well, I wonder, I'm very excited for Jakob's story. Bit ideal. Oh, I never actually remember this image. I'm surprised we see it. I mean, Michelle doesn't have the long hair. Isn't it interesting that Gazelle loses sight of who she is, but then the white-haired girl, because of the fact that she's similar to Michelle, just makes her instinctively remember who she is and makes all of the feelings surrounding her and Michelle just totally resurface. Yeah, fair enough. Not like before. Isn't it ironic that? I really do wonder if Morgana is some sort of manipulator of fate, and you just get all of these people that are very, very similar going to this mansion with the same looks. Yeah. I mean, white-haired girl's probably 20. Gazelle's been here for... Wait, when did... She's been there for over 30 times this woman's fucking life. I mean, if you put that into perspective, that is ridiculous. How many... So, what was it? 1099? Say 1099 to 1707. So that's 608 years, right? Yeah. 608 times 86,400 times 365. Oh, fucking leap years exist. Oh, I don't know, I can't be bothered to do an exact calculation, but like, I wonder how much of a big number that would get. Just how many seconds she spent here. Isn't that interesting? This is why she broke. Why do they say flaxen hair? Just say blonde hair. Even though she just instinctively feels it's familiar, kind of like a sense of deja vu. Fair. It's painful. You already know what the answer is going to be. Don't even contemplate it. I see what she's saying. Make it so that the real you buried in the cocoon is more protected and less damage is done to the shell. Of course it's Michelle. No, not your Michelle. Oh god. A nightmare. Do you know what? Can you switch the language to Japanese? You can. I'm really interested in how they represent this in Japanese. Right. Can you guys see this? Yeah, you can. Ah. Oh, fuck. Have I just cleared all my save data? Shit. I like that. Yakata no tobira o hiraku. Like, open the door of the house. Right. I can't be bothered to check, sorry. I'm not spending like an hour skipping through this. Gotta love that menu. Feels like we're playing Toho or something. Right, well. That didn't go the best. I pray my save data's still here. Good. It is. That's always a nice thing. I didn't know that save data is dependent on the language you set though, I'm surprised. Do you know, I might see if I can find a Japanese video. Right, just gotta find something with white-haired girl now, Yukimasa. White-haired girl, where are you? Are you anywhere? Yes, you are here. Right. Let me just... Right, here we go. Miseru. Oh, that's interesting. So it's actually the same in Japanese. Both names are the same. That's interesting. Miseru and Miseru. So that's probably something that has been benefited from the English version, just seeing more of a difference in names. Interesting. So if I'm going to be honest, I actually prefer the English translation because I think this is just a lot better and it's kind of lost in Japanese language. That's really interesting. Say that out loud. Yeah, fair enough though. Because Morgana is the most sadistic psychopath. I don't even want to know why she's doing this. Like the maid was saying, how much hatred and just awful parts of life do you have to experience before you end up like Morgana? Isn't that horrible? Her feelings are totally making her forget that she might be killed by the psychopath that's in this house. I wonder what she was going to say there. This must be hard. She's blind. It really just makes everything feel like a fever dream. Yeah. The shell of your cocoon is crumbling. No. Who can blame her? Dude, the fact that you are not deranged to the point of... The fact that you are not like Yukimasa is genuinely impressive. Yeah. Yeah, it's awful. The white-haired girl and the maid go through tragedy after tragedy. It's so cruel, yeah. Somebody who really complains. Totally. I think it hurts even more the fact that she has so little memory of just who it is that you are following and you are living life in order to see. And Morgana, what was firstly emphasised when everything had become black and separated from society was the letters that Gazelle discovered covered in blood. Also, portrait of the girl who ironically looked like the white-haired girl of Michelle. It just proves that you love somebody so much and you were going through all of this. Do you actually know this person fully? Do you know his story? Do you know his past? Do you know the things that he has maybe done or maybe not done? No. You're doing all of this for a person that you barely know. I mean, obviously they know each other from what they've seen, but at the same time, they don't know each other's lives much at all. I mean, Michelle knows Gazelle's life way more than the other way around. Yeah. I don't blame her whatsoever. It's only human to react like that, surely. You can't. Look at what happened when Yukimasa tried to slash your chest with a sword. Oh wait, I'm a dumbass. Oh my god. Yeah. You're sick. But, I mean, it's understandable, but you just really see this turn into madness, really. But it makes sense. She's been doing this for hundreds of years. I can understand why she would do insane behaviour like this. Good. Don't dirty yourself like that. And don't kill another person. So that's why we see her barely any time in chapter 2. True. Yeah, no matter how much you run, it will never, ever be here. It is madness. It is absolute madness. This is... Yeah, Jesus. I mean, it's not only that you are falling apart yourself, but you're having to endure the most psychotic man you will probably ever meet. Actually, I think Morgana might be worse than Yukimasa, but still, you get what I mean. Well, Morgana is not a man, so surely that still holds weight what I said, the most psychotic man. Of course she did. Oh my god, look at that blood. If you laugh at this, you have lost every single hope. Every single ounce of hope. You're a bit weird. He tried. At least he tried. There may have been some hope, but at least the white-haired girl did what she could. And let's be honest, if it wasn't for the village, maybe he would have been able to become human, but it would have never worked. It would be too ideal always. She's going to find Jakopol's plot very funny. His mourning turned into psychopathy. I suppose so, yeah. Well, I mean, he was obviously sad at the white-haired girl, but let's be honest. The white-haired girl is such a loving woman. Seriously, she's so kind. But he kind of viewed her, well, not really a love, but somebody who would understand him. So I kind of get the impression that he understood. Sorry, he loved the fact that she understood and that she was kind of like a way out for his problems rather than herself. Because he did not grieve whatsoever. It was just, I mean, obviously he did feel sad, but then that just caused murderous intent to resurface rather than grief. I mean, he could have let his grief out through murderous intent, but it's in Yukimasa's situation, I won't say that's the case. What a beautiful background, seriously. I like it. Isn't it interesting that she really tries to downplay Michelle? Yep. Does it say this or his? Oh, it says this, okay. She's a total marionette. God, don't listen to her. Okay. No, it's interesting. Why are you apologising? Yeah, but it is interesting that yeah, she's just saying worry less about the person that has not been able to see you because of the fact that don't worry about that fact because she will come up again. It's just interesting that because of the fact that she will come up again, it's as if she's not really viewed as her own person. She's just viewed as Michelle. One of the many Michelles. Yeah, but what happens after that? Yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll begin this tomorrow. Breakdown. Isn't it interesting the chapter names Descent, Breakdown, stuff like that. Indications of a maid falling. So I'm assuming this is Morgana's hand. When are we going to see her sprite, I wonder? And this makes sense now why she is here. Definitely. Yeah, it's really quite interesting. I'm very excited to look into everything else as well. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and yeah, I'll see you next time.